Hey everybody, welcome back to the Multiverse. I'm your host Paul, joined with Angela.
Hello.
Rob.
Hello.
And Chandler.
Hi.
That was both creepy and lovely.
Yeah.
That's
Chandler.
kind of me. Yeah, in a nutshell.
Yeah. No, I think you were the lovely one. I was the creepy one.
No, never.
You're both lovely.
Can we just talk about WandaVision? I
Yeah,
know
let's
we've been
just
talking
talk-
about it a lot, but holy shit.
Keeping
that
on
cliffhanger.
Maximoff month. We're getting
Yeah.
done.
I mean, listen, this is the show that everybody's talking about right now.
Yes.
Whether you into
Spoiler
comics or
alert.
not. And I love messing with people because when I talk to some of my friends who were like, oh, dude, don't tell me what happened. But I heard like somebody shows up at the end. I was like, dude, fucking Picard and Harry Potter. Like, yo, Disney is like hooking it up. I mean, like, it's all the franchises.
Could you imagine?
Like, Guy Fieri was there. You know, the guy from Bar Rescue. I mean, it's just incredible.
It'd be amazing for, like, Sir Patrick Stewart to show up in that fucking white wig.
Oh, from the early days of Star Trek when he did that screen test with a wig.
No.
What? I'd
In
see
wearing
this.
wearing Pietro's hair and being like, Wanda,
Oh my god.
Wanda,
That
darling.
would be incredible.
Welcome
Give
to the
us a hug.
X-Men. It's like,
Yeah.
what's happening?
He should be dressed up like Pietro, but like fucking being like number one.
So,
Engaged.
just
what?
that moment of the show, though, I literally, like, paused the episode and just looked at Sabine. I was just like, holy shit. And she was just like, she looked at me and she was like, what? She's like, I know him from a movie. And I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
But not the Marvel
Not a big
one.
deal.
Great.
American Horror Story crossover.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit to the beginning,
Yes.
because the genius of the 80s episode, like the opening
song
with
was
the
so
the
good.
drawing,
Oh, yeah.
like because I
Baby
feel
vision.
like
Oh god, that was
I feel like
Great.
when people reminisce on the 80s, they think it's like way cooler than it was.
that's true.
And when she fucking shows up in that opening sequence in those peach stirrup, like tapered pants, and like that vest with that hideous like carpet material, like floral material on the front, and her hair just piled up into that like curly, like I could have like pooped my pants.
You were
I
transported.
was so happy because I was like, yes, finally somebody is doing the 80s right. And I think after coming off of like Wonder Woman 84, when everything was just wrong, the silhouettes were wrong, the hair not nearly big enough, like it was too glossy.
Quantum Leaf sex rape.
It was too glossy and sleek because the 80s was neither of those things.
Yeah,
there was
it's
nothing
crunchy.
there was nothing chic about the 80s. The
It's like
80s was
people-
boxy and crunchy and
Yeah,
offensive.
it's like
and
people think the 80s was Marty McFly, but it was really Doc Brown.
Well, like,
Oh,
when you think of
yes.
the 80s, you think of, like, those
it was
few...
Biff all the way.
you think of those few, like, highlights, and you're just like, man, those are some sweet movies. But then you think about, like, the TV shows, even, like, the cartoons we look back on, like, everything was rough.
Oh, and Vision's hair.
Oh my god.
Oh my, it was
So
amazing.
That one side, that part, and it was like, oh my god, it transported me. And the song, though, that song,
Which will be available on iTunes like this Friday.
oh god,
Yeah, they've been releasing episode soundtracks like they did for Mandalorian. And so Domino's a big fan. And so they've been releasing the previous week's episode every Friday. So, and I love that they do that. Like Jesus Christ, what did she put in my tea?
See, that's why you need the green tea.
I know, apparently. They treat each episode like a movie soundtrack, and I love that.
It's cool.
And each cover is like a different cover, like because of the different decade they're in, and it's Christoph Beck who did the music for Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. So really, really cool that he's doing the score.
Black Mirror does a similar thing with their episodes and their soundtracks.
Yeah,
I've listened to
I believe that they do
the San Junipero soundtrack a lot.
Oh yeah, was that
Cliff,
I'm blanking on his name. He did the fucking Fountain
Yeah,
soundtrack.
I know what you're talking about.
Clint Mansell.
Clint Mansell.
Beautiful music, great composer. So yeah, 80s. I like the 80s workout gear.
Wait, sorry, pause. Angela, is that like a little like tea bag cubby for your mug?
It is, but I drank the tea already, and now it's just I am drinking whiskey out of a mug.
Oh wow. Cool either way.
Straight whiskey. I didn't put any whiskey
So
in...
now the chaser goes in there.
I didn't put any whiskey in Paul's mug because he wanted just the tea, which I totally respect.
I always want just the tea.
But I did a very successful dry January.
You
so
did. You did a great dry. What
Yeah.
the hell? I'm like having a stroke.
It's
Like
okay.
That's
January.
That's like what happens when you record the podcast after a certain point where my brain just stops.
Dude, after a
working
10-hour
properly.
workday. Yeah.
Fried.
Yeah, but you know what though? This is actually the best part of my day and week. This right here, because I get to talk about cool stuff that matters.
Yeah, you know how
Not your
desperate
mortgage
I have been
Yeah,
to just
Vision's
talk about
hair.
Vision's hair.
I could dedicate a whole episode
So
just
floppy,
to
I
his
love
hair.
it.
It's perfect.
I'm looking at a
because
picture.
that's how everyone looked on
I
television.
high-waisted everything.
In
Yeah.
1988, that was from 1988 to like 1993. Every white man had that hair on television.
They did their research. I like that.
They did. But oh my god,
I realize I basically dress like Vision when I go to work every day. Just like a tucked in button up into jeans with a brown belt. And I haven't
his
had a
sweater-
haircut in a long time, so I mean I'm pretty close. I'm getting there.
Side parted, Rob.
I have. I got my male pattern baldness coming in, so I need to figure out a way to part it.
no, let it just be yourself, be natural, man. We got to normalize these things.
Oh, I
That's
mean,
true.
I'm not gonna. Although, I mean, growing up, I was like, I don't care what people care when they're going bald. But now in my 30s, I'm just like, oh my god, no.
I think it's there was a survey. I'm pretty sure this is a survey that I guess bald men are like more attractive, I guess, than people.
No, I want you to lean into it. You know how like when
Those,
guys
like,
start like their
deep
receding
widow peaks?
hairline. Well, when they go really far back and then they just like they're like, I'm just gonna shave my whole head. No, grow your shit out. Put it in a ponytail, do a Gallagher. I have so much more respect for that. Don't try to cover it up. Just fucking own it and make it weird for everybody.
Okay, you can own
I
it.
love that.
You can own it.
That is my
and you can make it
favorite.
weird, but will anybody fuck you?
I mean, I wouldn't fuck you because okay, I'm gonna make it weird. Right, gonna make it weird.
Go for it.
I think in jest.
I'd fuck you first.
While I'm laughing.
It doesn't mean anything. Sorry.
No, I wouldn't fuck you because I know you.
I think we all know where it's going.
No.
All right, so back to the Vision's
Yeah,
hair.
back to his hair. I'm
Stop.
looking at a
Keep going.
picture. I'm
But
looking
for
at a
men
picture.
I need to say
Okay,
this.
okay.
For the men out there who are concerned about their hairlines, know that there are weird bitches like me out there who will in fact fuck you. I personally will not because I am married and we are very happy in our relationship, but I really need to get that point home because I think men need to
Well,
know
now I
this.
feel
and
better
need to be
because-
Take
known.
off my hairpiece now, guys.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yay! Yeah, like don't try to cover it up.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
But honestly,
And much
I'm looking
like
at a
male pattern
picture. I gotta say, I'm looking at a picture. Give me a month. If I don't get a haircut, I could have Vision hair.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's
Well, I
test
was just.
this.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, like male pattern baldness. I think things are starting to fall apart in this episode. where Wanda's reality is receding. I'll show myself.
Yeah.
No, that was a good segue. No, keep going.
Don't lie to him.
But it's true though. Her hold on reality, like my hair on my scalp.
I think that there is another element to this.
Oh, there's definitely another
Wanda.
element.
I do not
even
think
at the
it's
end of
all
the
Wanda.
episode when she's just like, "Do you think it's all me?" or something like that. I think Catherine Hahn's character for sure is in on something.
Yeah, she's like always. She's too helpful. And she's
Yeah.
like always there.
Maybe.
So
Well,
I was
what's the
hearing
theory
theories that she's like
uh,
grooming the kids basically, because like when she sprayed that lavender mist over the babies, and then all of a sudden, poof, they were big. And then later in the episode, she has the dead.
When they
I killed
aged
your
up?
dog.
Yeah, well, she has the dead puppy, and then she's like, "Don't grow up, don't grow up, don't grow up." Like Wanda was saying that.
They were because she had them age up.
Yeah.
When she brought them the dog initially, and then they aged up. Holy crap! You blew my mind.
Well, the theory is that what was it? That she might be. What was it? Agnes something, like the
Agatha.
Scarlet Witch's mentor,
Harkness.
Agatha Christie. Yeah.
Harkness.
Yeah. Murder on the Orient Express. That's what this is an adaptation of. But yeah, it's been fun to kind of reread some of the comics to surround this, but we'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, I agree because I don't know, Wanda's just too good of a character to kind of have her go down the dark path because she already started off as a villain. And not even like a villain, just misguided, with Ultron.
Just a
I mean,
punk kid.
yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, but I like
Dude, but that scene of her going into the sword facility and seeing Vision like in pieces.
yeah, that was fucked up.
I would have lost it.
Yeah.
I would
it
have
makes
lost
it like
it.
even within just the MCU movies, like she's had a rough go with things.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it makes total, and especially when the sword guy's just
Peak.
like, oh, the Vision's request was like should not be made a weapon, but they were like his body was like splayed out on a table being like researched, and there's like AI
Yeah.
people and
Studied.
stuff. It's like
Yeah.
I don't think Wanda's making him a weapon by putting him in a
Right.
sweet hairpiece and sweet shirts.
But he was saying he was scared, and like when they're both like hovering and kind of facing off, and he's like, "I can't remember like
Yeah.
what is going on. I'm scared."
Right. I don't remember my life before this. And there's a great line he has too about how something, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but something about how like we've always been like of the same mind and I don't know what's going on with you anymore. Yeah, and I actually really enjoyed Vision's freak out. That felt like just so real and genuine, like just the like what is happening? Like
Well, especially when he's
yeah.
at work and he kind of like accidentally like
Oh my
wakes his
God.
coworker up.
Yeah.
That was
That
crazy.
was crazy. It was, and then and him what was it when they were able to receive like an email and like and everybody's like reading it? It's like Jesus. Yeah, I'm so. Again, like each episode, and why I love it is just I just don't know what's going on. I don't know where it's going.
I freaking love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this to become like that crazy weekly conspiracy theory show. Like, I feel like the first season of Westworld was like that for me, where you're like, what's going on? Who's who? Now, like, WandaVision fits that. Spend like a whole
It's
week
so
reading
great.
conspiracy theories on the internet.
It's so great. I love not knowing. I love it that it's not predictable. One of the scenes I was going to say, too, that I really liked was when Wanda, like, fucking leaves the bubble. And, and she's like, all right, listen. You need to fucking cut this shit out. So it's like, so she's obviously not any kind of... I mean, we kind of already knew that she's not under any kind of spell, but just seeing her, like, proactively, like, coming out there. And I don't know if this was intentional or not, but I could appreciate when she has all of the dudes pointing their guns at the chief. I couldn't help but think of X-Men when Magneto did that with all the guns. And I was like, I don't know if it was intentional, but I loved it. It's awesome no matter what. Even if it's like a weird coincidence. It was just so cool.
So good.
Again, her power,
So-
like the demonstration of power is like fucking scary.
I don't know that much about Scarlet Witch as a character in the comics. I know I have like the gist, and I know her like I know the general like thing, and like her and her brother and how they're Magneto's kids, and I know that she's like crazy fucking powerful and that she can, she the whole House of M thing. Like I get that stuff. But in terms of like her children, I didn't know that was like a thing until after this episode aired, and they're like, oh, it's Wiccan and Speed, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know anything about Wiccan and Speed except for the fact that Wiccan is gay, and I didn't know they were brothers because I thought they were an item. And so that made it really weird.
I mean, they're an item, not a romantic item.
Face.
Like,
Wiccan,
I was like, ooh.
Wiccan
I
and
was like, wait.
Hulkling are a thing?
Yep, Wiccan and Hulkling. Yep, and once upon a time, Wiccan was known as the Asgardian, and the internet would not allow that to happen. Like, when you have a gay character named the Asgardian, Asgardian, and Marvel was like, okay, we hear you, Wiccan. It's a Wiccan good time.
Wiccan. I just remember those late nights of like, doing the books with Maggie, and whenever Wiccan and Speed title came out, we just, for a good like 2 minutes, for no reason whatsoever, we would just be like, Wiccan and Speed. It's Wiccan and Speed.
It's like Wiccan and Speed.
Yeah, we just Wiccan and Speed. And like whenever we would like check out, because we'd be like counting to see, okay, what titles are in, how many copies, and be like, oh, 20 copies of Wiccan and Speed. But that was the extent of my knowledge of that. So
when a few episodes back,
they're real.
Yeah. And a few episodes back when they're like, oh, we're naming him Tommy. Like, I like Billy, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be fucking twins. It's not only twins, like the twins. So that was cool. Yeah, and the big theory, of course, is that it's gonna be like, this is all gonna be like a reverse House of M. That instead of no more mutants, hopefully it's like, mutants, come in, honey. I've been watching a lot of RuPaul.
Well,
and I feel like it's starting to show.
It sure seems like it's a very much going to be like a multiverse thing, especially with the Quicksilver reveal
Doctor
at the
Strange.
end. Yeah, and she's in Doctor Strange, and
Multiverse of Madness.
Well, yeah. So there's that. There's the next Spider-Man movie, and WandaVision seem like kind of multiverse nonsense. So
right,
I feel like definitely a way to sneak in the X-Men somehow.
I'm curious to see, like, just what their, I guess, rationale would be as far as how the multiverse works and, like, Wanda's role in it. Like, because it's interesting that, you have Darcy say, oh, did she recast Pietro? So it's like, okay, cool, but, like, what are the whys? Are there whys? Is this all just fucking random, Because I think we were saying earlier in one of our chats that they could have brought in, what was that actor's name? Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Thank you. From Age of Ultron, like, they could have brought him back, but having Chris Evans, Evan Peters, obviously it's a nod to the X-Men movies. So I'm curious to see what the through line will be in inserting Evan Peters. And I like the actor a lot, so it's cool. I just want to know. I'm so excited.
I know. There's also, like, I forget who it was, but somebody in the cast was talking about, or even when somebody on the creative side was saying, there's like a cameo in this show that's like as big and mind blowing as like the Luke Skywalker thing at the end of Mandalorian, and it's like, is it Quicksilver? Because that's cool, but that's not the level of Luke Skywalker.
Not Luke Skywalker, yeah.
So
it is not.
It's like that could be anything.
I mean, are they could be like hyping
Luke Skywalker and WandaVision.
It's like, well, very literal, yes.
Yeah.
It's Mark Hamill now, just aged.
Yeah. It's your older brother.
I love
Lucky Pietro.
What if Mark Hamill is Magneto?
Oh my
so
god!
Cool.
I would
I would
support that. Mark Hamill is just like a gem of a human.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every interview I see of him, he's just great.
Yeah,
so,
I think like a bearded Mark Hamill, he'd be a little, chunky for Magneto, but that could work.
Whatever.
Yeah. Who cares?
Whatever.
I think it could totally work.
I'd accept it fully. You could just put him in a shitty wig, and I would be like, "Yep."
Yeah.
Just keep the helmet on.
Yep.
Not even. No.
Just have it
give
floating next to
Give
him.
him like a red throw. And just to wrap himself in it, and then like be like, Magneto, and I'd be like,
Old
sure,
crotchety Magneto.
I'll take it. I'd be like, yay, like dangling keys in front of a toddler. I'll love it.
But like, I wouldn't be
That's great.
surprised if Doctor Strange popped in like in the last
would
episode or
be
something.
cool.
But again, that would
I
be
mean,
like an established character. It wouldn't blow people's minds. They'd just be like, oh, cool, Doctor Strange. We know him.
Yeah, but he's like, like Paul Bettany. He's like one of those elevated actors.
But like, what if
Beautiful mind.
Patrick Stewart was somehow in it, or like Ryan
Okay,
Reynolds
yeah,
or
I
something
would-
from like,
I-
or
Oh
like
my
Deadpool,
God.
because Deadpool's already
Yeah.
confirmed to be an MCU movie.
Yep.
I would shit a brick.
Yeah.
A literal brick.
Oh yeah. No, we.
I
all
mean, there's
would.
literally
square.
the options are literally endless.
It's true. It's true. And I think it's really interesting, just going back to Pietro for a moment, that they, if this is going to be like a House of M route, Pietro played a big role in that story too. So really, I mean, so yeah, if they're going that route and bringing Pietro in is pretty, could be a really big deal. Because in the, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm educate me.
Okay. Well, because in the, I don't know, Rob, should we do a little Avengers disassembled House of M?
Yeah, we can pop over there and then talk about how WandaVision could potentially be similar
Yeah.
in ways.
Right. Because so essentially, Brian Michael Bendis took on the Avengers title with Avengers 500, and that was the Avengers Disassembled storyline where you had a deceased Avenger, Jack of Hearts, show up at the X-Men mansion, and he fucking blows the place up. Then Vision, like fucking kamikaze, has a Quinjet smash down into their the ruins of the mansion, and then fucking Ultron bots come out of them. It's like all the Avengers like worst nightmare. Scott Lang is killed. Clint Barton is killed. Yeah, it's like the end of the Avengers. Like I remember the time people like losing their shit.
Oh my god.
And so, but at the end, well, first of all, I like how there's like this code white, like all the Avengers need to come in, and almost everybody in the fucking Marvel universe shows up because everybody was like an Avenger at one point. There's like Daredevil and like Moon Knight, and so that was really cool. And then Doctor Strange shows up, and he's like, I felt a disturbance in the force. I'll paraphrase. Like I was off meditating somewhere. This shit woke me up. I'm super crank. And he kind of deduces that that this is Wanda's doing, and that she might not even know that she's doing this. And they kind of go to confront her, and they kind of piece together that kind of like what Rob was saying. She's been through a lot, especially with having her children, and then her children no longer existing. And now she is remembering that it's like causing this mental breakdown. So they go to confront her, and then I think Magneto and Pietro, they peace out. And then it's the Bendis Avengers show. So cut to I think a year or two later, you got House of M, where they have this Avengers X-Men convention, and it's the what do we do with Wanda, like should we try helping her? We've been helping her, and and Wolverine's like, put the bitch down, which is like basically what he wants to do. He just wants to like, listen, if the roles reversed, I would want her to fucking take me out. And it's like you always want people to take
like,
you out because you're
calm
miserable.
down. I know.
You have a death
Yeah.
wish.
And Captain
Yeah,
America's just like,
seriously.
shut up.
Down.
No, we're not killing her.
Yeah,
No.
pretty much. We're not gonna do that. So they go to Genosha, which is in ruins, by the way, because of the Grant Morrison X-Men stuff, the Sentinels attacking. Yeah, so it's like they show up and like, oh, where's Xavier? Now where's Wanda? And then all of a sudden,
So is this after the Matrix dance party?
I think it's before, actually, if we're looking at this chronologically.
Matrix dance party. What?
Yeah, the Genosha Matrix dance. They're on the island. Is that
Yeah,
the
but
Matrix dance party? Remember that?
yeah, but they were underground in that one.
There was a dance
Come on,
party?
Chan.
I just remember there was like an explosion. Like,
At
everybody-
the end, there is a ridiculous
No,
dance
not
party.
at the end. It was the beginning of Matrix 2.
Oh, we're talking about the Matrix.
Reloaded.
It's like X-Men. My bad. No. Yeah. Of course.
No, I am, and I'm referencing the Matrix dance party, that terrible underground
terrible
dance
scene.
party. Yeah, but they did that at the end of that X-Men story, and I was very upset by it, and I was making fun of that.
She's talking about Howard's.
Dawn of X. Oh, yeah. That's like
House of X,
decades
Powers of
later.
X. Yeah.
So, okay.
House of M was in 2007.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that joke paid off
that
so
shit-
well.
No, but that. Here's the thing. Okay, everybody shut up. Here's the thing. All right. When it comes to the X-Men and the way Marvel comics in general, all comics, all of them, every single one, all of them.
Even Mouse?
Everybody, you, me, everything. Okay, the way these stories happen, time jumps around like it's nothing. People die, they come back. Like the laws of physics are beholden to no one on this. Like they do that. So I think it is a very fair question to ask if this is before or after the Matrix style dance party.
Okay. That's fair.
Thank you.
Well, I was telling it chronologically.
How was I to know that? That's why I asked
If you let me
because I didn't
finish.
fucking know. That's why I asked.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, they show up at the island, and then,
Before the dance party.
way before the dance party.
Okay.
And
So Geonosis was destroyed before.
yes.
Yes.
Magneto's
now
just
they're
been
on
hanging there
Krakoa.
sad for like a couple years.
Yes. And the X-Men were like almost wiped out. This is what caused. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a listener just as like
Of course. Yeah.
baffled as I am. Out of all three of them, one of them
Probably.
is partially confused.
Yeah. Well,
And I'm sticking up for you.
yeah.
For us.
So the short version is that, Wanda creates a spell where everybody gets what they want. You get a dream, you get a dream, you get a dream. And it's like, like for Peter Parker, like his Uncle Ben is alive. Peter has a son with Gwen Stacy, which makes it all the more brutal when the plug gets pulled, and they kind of come back to reality. So Wolverine is like the only one who's not affected by it because, I don't know, mutation, healing factor, and so he's
just bitter because he's not getting what he wants in his dream life.
I don't know. I mean,
like what he had didn't really seem that cool, but whatever.
Well, he was House of M's Nick Fury.
Yeah, I guess.
And he's like banging Mystique, who she was like, who do you want me to be today? Like, doesn't he have like
a string of just like dead girlfriends that like
Wolverine
have been like
a trail
around?
of dead bodies behind him.
They could have his dream come true. They're all like living in this like
harem.
Polyamorous like household. He is Tenchi Muyo.
Yes,
and
I
they're
would totally
all
watch
like,
that.
and all of his like dead girlfriends are alive, and they're all living in the house, and they're all vying for his attention. And he's like, "You guys,
that's a great reality show."
Notice me, senpai.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm ruining your entire.
But it was
No,
good.
it's
Actually,
okay.
it was a good exercise. I like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
come on.
I'll hand it over to Rob because
No.
I feel like I've been doing a lot of talking. Rob, you can pick up where I left off.
I usually left up with Peter being. I got distracted.
Jesus, no one is
No, I was
listening to
listening,
this
but
show.
we are.
You went off on a weird
Peter-
tangent, and I.
Peter has his dreams.
Yeah, so
back.
everybody is.
Wanda's giving everybody what they want.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, so Logan like snaps out of it, and then like tries to like investigate like what happened to everybody. Where's Charles Xavier? He goes to the X Mansion, and it's like some random family living in there who's been there for like 15 years. Like that's already fucked up. So he goes to investigate Stark Industries, and then he gets tailed by the Shield, his unit, and they try to bring him in. And then he kind of like fights with them, escapes. And then he gets kidnapped by the rebels, and they're kind of like this underground group
Human
of like
movement.
Mhm.
human movement of all of like the my bad. More background. So in this reality, all the mutants are dominant, and all like the regular people are like the minorities, kind of like flipped upside down, like in the regular world.
Okay.
So
wait, and so is this affecting the whole world?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
it's like a worldwide spell.
Nice.
And Luke Cage is running the Underground Resistance.
Right.
I also liked Wolverine's posse, like his Shield posse. Like it's like Rogue, Toad,
Yeah.
Mystique.
Nightcrawler,
Yeah,
Spider-Woman,
Nightcrawler.
all the wild cards.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was really cool. And I also like that they had like kind of giant Magneto-looking style Sentinels too,
Yeah, just
flying
like
around
the
with a
design
helicarrier.
things. They're cool.
No, it was cool.
Gold-plated.
Yeah.
Dope.
And so they're just trying to and so and then there's like that girl too.
Yeah, Layla
Layla
Miller.
Miller.
They go to the underground base.
Layla,
They meet Layla, who can like restore the memories of people, and then
Yeah.
they get ambushed by Magneto's forces, and then they like escape again, and then they kind of come up with a plan to try to get everyone back on this, like snap everyone out of it, and kind of like start the counterattack.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes
Gravity.
Magneto. And I thought it was interesting too because they're all looking for Charles Xavier, but he's dead. There's like this like memorial garden to Xavier. You know, he died so Genosha could live, so again, you know, yada yada yada, fighting. Everybody's woke now to what Wanda's doing, and then so you find out that that in this instance it really wasn't. I mean, yeah, it was Wanda, but it was because of Pietro.
Magneto originally.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point too. Everybody thought it was Magneto, but it was Pietro because
Wait, what was Pietro?
Pietro talked Wanda into creating
that.
it because he found out that the Avengers and the X-Men, they were gonna come and put Wanda down, and he runs over and tells Magneto, and he's like, Magneto's like, I don't know what you want me to do. I do not know what you want me to do. And Pietro's like, they're gonna kill your daughter. And Magneto's like, well, you know, maybe they should. I don't know. I mean,
Jesus.
she
This is like, what would you have me do?
Yeah.
Is what he said.
Right. Okay, what would you have me do? What the fuck do you want me to do, Pietro? What do you want me to do? So, and then, you know, Wanda kind of...
He's like, maybe they're right. And then Peter's like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
You should do this.
Right. And she's not even participating in that reality.
She's in her own
just
little
in the back room.
pocket thing, playing with the kids. Yeah.
Yeah. And, so Wanda having suppressed all of that and having to revisit it again, you know, she's just like, fine, fuck it. No more mutants. Just like,
Wow.
and so with that, and it was pretty.
Wait, so she just blips mutants?
Yeah.
She blips like there's only like 190 of them
Yeah,
left.
so like
Okay.
I guess like backtracking. So basically, what Wanda and Pietro are talking about throughout the series is like how Magneto kind of basically used them to further his cause for mutant superiority, that they never really mattered. So because Wanda was like, well, mutants, your whole mutant complex is because of mutants. So you know what? No more mutants. Just to kind of like stick it to the man, and then that's what happened. And basically, the people that remember were the ones that Doctor Strange and Emma Frost kind of shielded. But then when they came back to reality, they found out that the majority of mutants had been depowered, and there's only about, like you said, 198 mutants left.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was that way in Marvel for a couple of years, wasn't it?
A long fucking time.
Yeah.
Well, because before that, the big thing was like even at the start of the Grant Morrison run of X-Men that like humans were going to be extinct. That like that there were more mutants than humans, and they were going to be phased out. And then the whole attack on Genosha happened, and then what Wanda did, and seeing the aftermath of that was like devastating. I haven't read House of M since it was published.
Same.
So reading it again, I was like, ugh, it hurt more. I think because I just know so much more about these characters and
The aftermath
like
for like years to come.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bobby Drake isn't Iceman anymore. I mean, even Magneto lost his powers, but it was like it was
Actually, Bobby didn't lose his powers. That was kind of like some weird, like him just like doubting himself. It was dumb.
Oh, what the fuck, Bobby?
Yeah.
But even despite that, I mean, it was so like devastating when you go to the Xavier Institute and you see all the kids that are just like. And and people died. Some people, when they lost their mutant abilities, some of their mutant genes were keeping them alive.
Yeah.
And, so it was like it was fucking brutal.
Yeah, like their powers failed. Like people were like resistant to fire, like lost that resistance, and, like burned to death, or like people who could like fly but fell in midair because they lost their ability
it was
to fly.
like
Oh my
it
God,
was really
that's
fucking
horrible.
brutal. So when we say reverse House of M, is like instead of wiping out all the mutants, like maybe this is Wanda being like, fine, everybody gets superpowers. Or not everybody, but,
We're
a
all
good chunk of
special.
people.
Actually, so speaking of, making people have superpowers.
Maybe it's like an alternate reality thing. That's what I was thinking, that it was going to be an alternate reality.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's not on a scale like House of M, clearly, but it very much has that same idea of just like Wanda somehow warping this little bubble in the same way that she did that to House of M. And people can get woken up. Like Vision accidentally woke that guy up, kind of like how Layla Miller has that ability to kind of wake people up.
Yeah.
Take me up inside.
Okay.
I actually like when Wolverine's like, oh, like the song, and she's like, no, not like the song.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. Oh.
We're done. Go ahead.
Rob, are you
Go ahead.
okay? I was like, sorry, I wonder how a Rob that noise there, like,
I don't know.
So, no, I mean, like, because we've already established in the MCU that there are alternative timelines, because when the Hulk is having that conversation with Tilda Swinton, and I'm
The
not,
ancient one.
she's not the ancient one. She's just Tilda Swinton, because Tilda Swinton is Tilda Swinton. And
she's the one.
She's
she is, I mean, she is transcendent. And yeah, so when he's talking to Tilda Swinton on the roof, and he's like, oh, give me that stone. And she's like, no,
Give me that
stone. She's like, no, because it'll, like, if you take it out, now we're on an alternate timeline. And, but you got to put it back, whatever, to restore the timeline, whatever. But, okay. But we know that an alternate timeline is going to be happening because Loki is going to be alive and he's doing stuff. And Gamora is also from an alternate timeline doing stuff. So we know that there are alternate timelines, like we were talking about earlier, Chandler, with us going to our alternate timeline
Yes.
where we are wearing powdered wigs and
I'll take the
just
floor.
surrounded by so much hot dick. So so what if, because now that they have Fox and all the mutant things, what if they do it like an alternate timeline thing, and Wanda, with the aid of whatever third party is doing this, like, lets them into the fold, so they don't actually have to like rewrite any of the other X-Men movies, because those things happened in their own weird shitty timeline that was Sony or Fox or whatever, and now they're coming full circle. Same with Spider-Man, and how we know that Andrew Garfield and freaking Tobey Maguire are making like cameos. What if there's like some rip in the fucking timeline? You guys, I just figured out the basic plot of
Angela solves the MCU.
Doctor Strange and the
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness.
I mean,
you guys, I solved it.
could
You're
be.
welcome.
You're welcome.
Well, they also
everybody.
mentioned the multiverse in Spider-Man Far From Home, and they were talking about it with Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio. But then it turns out Jake Gyllenhaal wasn't actually from a multiverse, but they were
Just making it
still
up.
talking about multiverses, which I thought was kind of weird. But then J. Jonah
and really-
Jameson is the other one.
Is there.
So it's stuff's
Yes.
happening.
Yeah, so, and I don't know about
Good
you guys, but I don't know about you guys, but I always listen to Tilda. And Tilda said it, so therefore it is law.
Tilda Swinton, the concept.
I think that it's definitely, I think it's pretty acknowledged at this point that, yeah, they're definitely going to somehow at least reference the other universes. But I'm curious how if they're going to pick stuff from those to keep, or if they're just going to be like, yes, those did exist. Now go away. Because they've already said Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is going to be in the Marvel Universe. So, like,
Fuck
that's
yeah.
confirmed. We've seen
Well,
Quicksilver. We're going to have the old Spider-Man.
God. How great is it if Evan Peters is just like going to be in the MCU now?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, anything is fucking possible.
I don't know. I'm sticking with this. I'm sticking with my theory because I think that's what's happening.
I mean, Kevin Feige has the
one thing-
power to pick at this point whatever he wants. It's just
He's a
pretty
god.
much. It would just be weird though
I mean,
if he picks like. Imagine being one of the X-Men he doesn't want to put in the MCU. They're like, oh, we
Brutal.
want Evan Peters, we want Michael Fassbender, Let's see. We got Ryan Reynolds. Everybody else, goodbye.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I would be okay with that too.
Oh, I would be
Because
okay with
clearly
it.
he knows
but-
what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Feige does know what he's doing. I mean, he has not steered us wrong. I have seen some people online, like on Tumblr and Reddit, who were like not happy with some of WandaVision, but I don't know.
What were they saying?
Whatever.
What were they saying?
I don't know. Just that like
Chandler.
I want to know. I want to know.
What are they saying? What
they're
are
about
they
to catch
saying?
these
Let's
hands.
fight,
That's what
let's
they
fight.
Yeah. No, I think just that I don't even remember. I remember trying to follow some of the logic, and it really didn't.
I know some
bother
people
me.
were kind of upset because they seemed like it was like needlessly confusing or mysterious, but it's like, yeah, but whatever.
But it's fucking based on
Exactly,
comics.
and it's just like they paid it off in the 4th episode, so it all made
Yeah.
sense. It's like you just got to stick
I
with it.
think, well, and that's what I told one of my coworkers was like, she was like, Wanda and Vision were like my least favorite characters in the MCU. I don't really care. I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, eh. And I was like, okay, just for me, watch the next 2. And then she did, and she was like, okay, I'm in it. And I was like, that's right, girl. But I think to those people on Reddit and Tumblr and anybody else who's listening who's like, you know what, I'm not quite feeling it. Like, just remember, the minute you accept Tilda as your personal Lord and Savior and you accept her into your heart and her word, you will know peace.
WandaVision is just so crazy because anything's possible. Anything is possible. It's like it's so
Anything
hard to
is possible.
theorize when anything is possible.
Right.
There's tons of people who are like guessing that like Mephisto is involved somehow, and they're going to bring like Mephisto
Yeah.
into the worlds.
I was kind of like iffy about that because like I don't know if the MCU wants to introduce demons as a concept, but he could be like a deviant from the Eternals movie.
I mean, if there's Doctor Strange, at some point there's going to be demons.
Yeah.
Aren't we getting like a weird, like Jared Leto is like a vampire movie?
That's-
Oh yeah, Morbius.
Somehow,
Is that
or
MCU
Mobius.
or
technically
No, it's
no. So who
Oh, it's
knows what's
Sony.
going on with that?
Well, yeah, and then now there's news today that apparently fucking Keanu Reeves was offered the part of Kraven
Ooh.
for a Kraven movie.
I've been wanting a Craven movie for so long, just because
Did
it's
he
so
turn it down?
ridiculous.
Well, it's not known. I mean, I just. I love Keanu Reeves.
Who doesn't?
I just don't know if I see him as Kraven.
Okay.
I just feel like he
Close
should
your
be a
eyes.
little bigger.
Picture
Get the
Keanu
handlebar
Reeves
mustache.
shirtless with a
Okay.
leather print vest from like leopard print vest. Just standing in Central Park with a
It
rifle.
has to be a lion's mane vest.
Yeah, some kind of large exotic cat.
He needs to be
No.
wearing this.
Keanu Reeves is definitely my favorite.
No, I love
immortal.
Keanu Reeves. Don't get me wrong, and I'm sure he could do it. I mean, Christ, he was in a Kenneth Branagh Shakespeare movie, and he did it. So
I'm sorry, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says, but I'm gonna own this. But I loved his Constantine, and if anybody thinks different, they can fucking fight me. I'll do it. You can meet me out in the parking lot.
I liked
at 5
I
o'clock.
liked the movie
I will
Constantine.
catch me outside. How about that? Because I loved him as Constantine. Yeah, no, he was not blonde. No, he was not British.
It was
Whatever.
completely different.
It was still
But I
fun.
thought that movie was fun
I
too.
loved it.
yeah, I did
Rachel
like
Weisz was in it. What more do you need?
Shia LaBeouf died in it.
What more do you need?
Yeah. No. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, Sony's definitely. I don't know. I think.
love that.
Yeah. I mean, Sony's definitely pushing like a Spider,
Which is-
not Spider Verse, but like
Yeah,
you know,
the whole Sony thing is so
standalone-
strange now that it's like semi-integrated into the MCU. It's like
Yeah. And then you have like was it Michael Keaton's Vulture who's going to be in the Jared Let Himself Go movie. So
Yeah, it's
I don't
so
know.
strange.
Yeah.
It's all strange, but
It
you know what?
really
He
is.
has a cult. Where are we? You know,
It's
what
a
is this?
weird time to be alive.
It is a weird time to be alive.
I'm just waiting for we got who's left in the MCU that's not dead. You got Bucky and Falcon at a bar, and they're just like, oh man, which one of us is gonna have the shield? And then Tom Hardy turns and he's just like, everybody's got problems, kid.
Yes.
Everybody's got problems.
You guys, though, that I think, Rob, that was a great segue
Yeah, that
The Super Bowl trailer was
to
pretty
talk
dope.
about the new trailer and how much I love their chaotic, like, couples counseling relationship. It's so
Frenemies.
great. Oh, it's so
yeah, I'm
great.
excited for
I'm glad
that.
to see Agent 13.
I don't know. I don't care for her.
Okay,
I
well,
feel
as
like
a fan of the
Flying Wings,
Captain
that was pretty
America
cool.
comics, I'm happy to see Agent 13.
I'm
because
happy
she
to
was
see the
part
whole
of-
little Captain America movie family come together. Baron
It's almost
Zemo.
like Civil War 2.
Kinda, yeah. It seems like Civil
because,
War.
Because Zemo's back, like, I gotta finish what I started, but in a Germanish accent. Or Sokovian accent.
Some
right?
weird-
He's of Sokovian descent.
I don't care for her.
I'm very excited for just like the high adventure action buddy cop thriller show.
Me too.
And March 19th.
So soon. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks good. I loved yeah. I'm excited for all of it.
Yeah.
For Zemo.
I'm curious on how they
but yeah.
handle US Agent in there.
Yeah. It'd be great, guys, if it was like Lethal Weapon, Like just two cops. Like one's a loose cannon and the other's old.
Bucky's just standing outside of a burning house, just like, what do you want to hear, man?
Yeah. But Bucky's like, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Oh my god, I love it.
But no, I'm so excited. But yeah, I love how they're in literal counseling and they're having a staring contest.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Yeah, and the counselor's like,
Yeah.
"Are you serious?" It's so good. Oh my god, I'm so excited. That I watched it like in the bathroom today.
Yeah.
I did. I was like, I'm gonna watch this.
I've actually only
again.
seen it the one time, so I might have to watch it after
I saw
we
somebody
wrap
post
this up.
online. They're
Nice.
just like, so this show is just Captain America's exes going on an adventure together.
Pretty much, and I live for it.
Yeah.
Sister of the Traveling Shield.
Isn't Chris Evans somewhat
Yeah, that
involved
just, like,
in like
delighted
a directorial producer type role on this show?
Chris
Yeah.
Evans.
I thought I heard that he was kind
mean,
of
it makes
doing
sense.
a somewhat behind the camera role with this show.
That's awesome.
I mean, yeah.
I think that's good though, because he needs to get out of the house. I've been creeping on his Instagram, and it's just him and the dog, and
trees.
and he's just living in a tree, and it's like, oh, good, dude, you need to get out of the house. I'm worried about you. You need to start talking to people.
I'd be okay with like an old man Steve cameo in there.
Just Joe Biden. Because let's be real, he looked just like Joe
He does look
Biden.
like Joe Biden.
If old Steve Rogers says, "Look, here's the deal."
Or malarkey.
Yeah.
Just this fucking Joe Biden. I love it.
That would be great. Look, here's the deal. He's Captain America, okay? But you're the Winter Soldier, okay?
I think I am the most butthurt about him not being Captain America anymore. I think that was the most soul crushing thing for me when Endgame happened. I mean, I was really sad about Robert Downey Jr. not being a part of it, because I'm like, I think he could have played Tony Stark.
Exactly.
They'll
where
bring him
he
back.
was like
Multiverse.
hobbling around, like he could just do that forever and I would be a-okay. He could they could make a movie of just Tony Stark like staring at the wall for 12 hours and I would watch it, because like I loved those movies. He's a lot of fun, but I was really, really butthurt about Chris Evans and Captain America and the way they were just, he was like, oh, I'm just gonna sit out the civil rights movement and let that happen without doing anything.
Listen, I'm telling you, that's why Marvel should
What?
do a Secret Avengers movie where it's Steve and the Howling Commandos behind the scenes of history, where like all of the things that still went wrong, like this is like the best version of our reality, because without Cap's intervention, shit would have been like a hell of a lot worse, like I don't know, Hitler for president.
Whatever.
You know.
I don't know. I was really butthurt about it. Still am.
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, I don't know.
And then I saw in the trailer, you know how I knew I had a problem with this? Because in the trailer, they showed that other guy that's like not Captain America. Who's that guy?
U.S. Agent.
U.S. Agent.
Okay, so not Captain America was like running through like a freaking football
field.
stadium, and I just immediately got angry. Like, how dare you? How dare you wear those pants?
Too soon. Poor Tim.
You don't get to wear those
It's
pants.
like, yeah, I have a question. How dare you?
Yeah.
Well,
How
I know
dare you show up in that outfit?
In the comic books, U.S. Agent started off as a bad guy, right, with a different name.
Yeah, and then he eventually
He becomes just like a shit.
Oh,
He's like
no.
a shitty Cap, though. Like he's like angry, and he's
No.
not Cap.
I don't like that. I don't like that he is a thing. Who is that actor? Is he getting
It's
hate
Wyatt
mail
Russell. It's
yet?
Kurt Russell's son.
Oh.
That's the only reason why he's getting a pass.
Well, his dad was already
Yeah.
in the MCU, so they can't integrate that somehow.
Yeah. He could be a seedling of, I don't know.
Another
I don't
neglected
know.
child of that
yeah,
Celestial, whatever his
pretty
name
much.
was.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I know we said this before, but I mean, I think Marvel's killing it, and I am just fucking dying to know what's gonna happen. Evan Peters is such a great inclusion. It's just such a nice acknowledgement of like the X-Men movies, and it's like I want to know. I mean, I definitely would love to see like in some shape or form, Father Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that would be just
Because they say their
ugh.
parents were killed when they were like super young,
Right.
so like that's
So here's the
open-ended
thing.
enough.
But here's the thing, right? So the reason why they're called Maximoff and not, the Lencherises, is because
What?
well, Magneto's real name is Eric Lencher. So I was trying to explain that because they're not
Oh, they're
Wanda.
Maximoff.
Yeah,
Got it.
it's because when Magneto's wife leaves him because he like killed some people, she was pregnant and he didn't know about it, and so I think she like dies in childbirth, and they're adopted by the Maximoff family, and it's
Got it.
only after this weird freak twist of fate that
You think they're gonna do that?
I mean, why not? I mean, there's room.
They
I mean,
could be adopted, yeah.
they've never said that they were the biological parents, so there's no reason why that
Very soap opera, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it could yeah, there's no reason why they couldn't have a Magneto being a biological father, or what it'd be even crazy if like is like Wanda then her own father, like if she like somehow makes it where Magneto is the biological father. I don't know, it's crazy, but there's room, there's total room, and still kind of being true to the history of the comics. So I don't know. One thing I did want to say, because I know we were talking Disassembled and House of M. I finally read Children's Crusade, which I had never read, and that kind of like wraps up some of the Scarlet Witch loose threads. So you find out that like the whole not House of M, Avengers Disassembled thing. I mean, I don't know how true this is, but in that arc, in that time frame, they explained that was actually Doctor Doom's input.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting retcon. Yeah.
So it was like, because like she was going to him for help because
I didn't really like that, but I feel like it kind of took some of the accountability away from her, which is like.
Well, that's what Marvel does, though. I mean, they'll make these big strides and then they'll take a step back. Like when Peter Parker unmasked himself for Civil War, magic fixed it.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, we don't talk about that much.
Yeah.
Speaking of House of M again, also, I didn't even realize, like, I was looking at the art. I didn't even realize it was, how do you pronounce his name? Olivier Coipel.
John?
Coipel. Yeah, I know he's French.
What?
The artist.
I'd call him John Copley.
Excuse me?
If as an American would say, his name was Olivier Coipel.
Yeah.
I think it's like, something. But anyway,
I don't like any of this.
he's like one of my favorite artists now, and you could see this is like he's
early.
gotten a lot better in 15 years.
Dude, why is Cyclops fat?
Also,
did you notice
they're
how
all
fucking
thick.
thick Cyclops'
He was
neck
pretty
is?
thick,
Yeah.
but there's a panel, and I found it. I got to send it in the chat. Of
I want to see
hold on, I'll send it
them.
in the chat.
Show me all
But
of those.
Polaris is talking to Magneto, and her vagina is basically hanging out of her dress. It is the lowest cut thing I like.
What issue was that
It's
in?
hold on,
Spilling out.
I need to. I'll send it over. But it's
I'll show Angela.
it's right before like the party starts or something. It's like Victor Von Doom will be here soon, and literally she's wearing like a dress with just like a little bra, but her vagina's hanging out, and it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever
It's
seen.
like wearing a belly dancer outfit.
Yeah, she's dressed like a belly dancer, but like,
That's-
Hold on, I want to see it.
I'm trying to.
but yeah.
I
Also,
want to see it.
it definitely isn't great on its own. I think House of M is much better if you also read some of the overlapping comics.
Wait,
Yeah.
this is the artist that you like?
No, I was saying 15 years ago, this is what he was doing.
Oh wow, look at that neck.
That's
But,
what I was saying.
Jesus.
Now
Yeah.
recently he's
It's totally.
yeah.
Oh my god. Oh wait, is that the dress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got
Wait,
it too.
how is her?
I'll
what
have to
do you
put this
mean
in the
her labia
thumbnail.
is hanging
Well, no, I'm
out?
just saying like
Her
it's so low cut. It's just like I feel like in reality.
What if she just has like a long torso? What if her mound is just very long? Don't
I'm not
body
shaming
shame.
her. I was just saying it's a strange artistic choice for her to be with her dad in that.
That is how
Oh, there's also
the
this one
modern
thing with,
woman hangs out with her dad.
boobs popping out.
Oh, I noticed that too. I was like, wow.
Wow, I missed that.
He's gonna
What
he's
did I
gonna
miss?
rein in
Right
the hypersexualization of the superheroes.
Wait. She's got blue hair.
But if you look at his
There's a lot
his
going
current
on.
work on like the Unworthy Thor and stuff, like
No,
he's
his
incredible
art has
now.
come
Yeah.
a long way.
That's
yeah.
great. I
Well,
like that
even
they
his
improved.
Thor with Jemma
Yeah.
Straczynski, I thought was really good.
But Thor's already always been thick.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
it's, like,
he's a good
natural.
fit.
See, okay, so Rob, when you said her vagina was hanging out, I thought she was wearing like a mini
Oh,
skirt,
no.
and her actual labia was just like
That would have been a
hanging
little
out. Like,
intense,
just-
but
and I was like, that's a bold
yeah.
choice.
but
Oh wow, yeah, that is a boob out. I mean, if you're running and you're just not zipping up your mini vest,
Also, you're
then your
She-Hulk.
boob
You ain't
is
giving a
gonna
fuck.
come
Yeah.
out.
You know, like somebody's gonna get a concussion getting slapped by one of those anyway.
I think one free breast is beautiful.
Well, we have the great Red Sonja print.
Yeah,
her
like
with one-
just Janet Jackson it.
Yeah.
Like one boob. Just one. Just to say, hey,
But yeah, I'm
girl.
glad I remember that because
Hey,
as I
how
was
you
reading
doing?
House of M, I got to that page. I was like, Jesus, that's a choice. It's a cool
Yeah.
outfit. Like
Even-
I think
Yeah.
there's like
it is. I think it is.
the like the family when they're all together, like Quicksilver, Polaris,
The family
and
picture.
stuff, and Magneto, and they're in their outfits. Like Polaris's outfit's pretty
You know,
cool. She like went all out.
Polaris, that's another like weird fucking familial relation where like they go back and forth. She's a daughter of Magneto. No, she isn't. She is. No, she
well,
isn't.
wasn't even Pietro and Wanda, like, weren't they like weirdly sexual?
That was
with
in the
each other
Ultimate
at some
Universe.
that was in the
point?
Ultimates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was
They just like were Lannister.
Is that one of the Ultimates 3 things? I remember in Ultimates 3, one of them got shot, right? Did they kill Scarlet Witch in that?
Yeah, that right. Yeah, they. No, it's Pietro, and like Magneto was so mad.
He was so mad.
That was so fucking stupid. I
so
hated
mad
it.
about
I
it.
was so mad at Jeff Lowe because of
Ultimates
that.
3 is one of the worst things. Because you have like
it really is.
Ultimates 1 and 2, which are like these awesome, like they're like
They're
ushering
masterpieces.
in the
And
modern
a
age of
lot
comics, essentially. Like,
Well, and even the MCU,
Exactly.
a lot of like fucking Nick Fury,
mhm.
you know, played by Samuel Jackson. That's all the Ultimates.
And then
you know.
Ultimates 3 comes in, and it's the worst Jeff Loeb writing I've ever seen.
It
and-
really is. It's so random. Like just
And then
so
I'm
bad.
not at like who did the art? Joe Mattiera was.
Oh, the art's not bad.
It's just
I mean, for
it's just
I mean,
such a drastic shift from like Brian Hitch's
yeah.
work to go to like
who's like so grounded.
grounded like tons of like line work and stuff, and then just like this crazy like just way more cartoony like exaggerated artwork and stuff.
Yeah.
I just remember being very, very disappointed.
Oh yeah, as was I, because I loved the
Mm-hmm.
Ultimates. But man, that was some bullshit. I hated how the Ultimates universe, or at least how Ultimatum ended. Like fucking the Blob eats the Wasp.
We don't talk about Ultimatum.
Yeah, I'm
Doctor Doom, I'm sorry, the Thing knocks on Doctor Doom's door, and Doom's like, "Hello," and then like fucking Doom kill.
It's like crushes his head in his hand.
I was like, Well, then what's the like? It's just lazy, and it was just I fucking hated it.
They killed like half of the X-Men.
I feel like pre-Ultimatum, the Ultimate Universe was like pretty sweet. Like there's a bunch of cool like story arcs and stuff.
Oh, it was fire.
And then,
dude, even Ultimate X-Men, they could take some stuff from the Ultimate X-Men and put it in this new rebooted X-Men universe, and I would be okay with it. Like fucking Pietro being like a fucking like a mob strong guy, you know, like I don't know. I
feel like because post Ultimatum, there's like these little pockets of really good stuff in the Ultimate Universe, but overall it was just like womp womp.
It was like we're gonna cancel the books, and then like, oh no, never mind. It's like, well, you just fucking killed all these people off. Like now they had to like make new people. There was like a Wolverine-ish blonde.
That was
son.
Ultimate like Cable, wasn't it? Wasn't Ultimate Cable Wolverine from the future?
Cable was,
yeah.
That was dumb too.
I remember.
They combined a lot of characters.
I loved Hickman's run on the Ultimates though. Like the Ultimate Avenger, whatever the tagline, basically where the maker...
Ultimate Comics Ultimates.
Yeah, Ultimate Comics Ultimates, where they introduced Reed Richards as the maker, which was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. That was that's good writing. You take shit and you make it into gold. But do you remember when Mr. Sinister was like a weird Puerto Rican gangbanger?
That
and
was
you weren't
weird.
Even sure.
And he pushed Professor X down the stairs.
Yeah, and then he wasn't even,
oh my god, I love that.
And you weren't even sure if Apocalypse was real.
Yeah.
Or if it was all in his head.
Yeah.
God, and it had like Sinister tattooed on his chest. I was like, what's the fuck?
I literally read, so that was one of the comics where you just like, you've been reading it for so long, you just can't stop. So that's like one of the few comics I have every single issue of. Because come like issue 40 of the Ultimate X-Men, I'm like, this is fine. And then the next 60 issues, I just begrudgingly bought and read every single one of.
Yeah. Well, I actually recently reread a chunk of Ultimate X-Men. I mean, the Miller stuff is great. I remember not liking the Bendis stuff, but now that I'm rereading it, it's not bad.
Like Daredevil has a cameo and stuff in there, right?
It's like all the characters Bendis was already writing. He just kind of like, but I did like, and I would totally be okay if they did this, where like, it was such a stupid 2-issue arc, but I loved it, was when Wolverine and Spider-Man switch bodies. Hilarious. Why am I so fucking smelly? Like, it was great.
Yeah, Ultimate Universe is like
for what it was, a 2-issue
such
arc.
A weird thing that lasted really long, considering.
You know what though? I gotta give Ultimates a lot of credit because Ultimates started right when I was starting to comic book collect. You know, so September 2000. I remember I was starting to collect comics like that summer because the X-Men movie came out, so I was reading the X-Men stuff. But the Ultimates was great because now finally was a book I could jump on, not having to know anything that had happened before. Where it was reinventing and modernizing the the history and just I ate it up.
Yeah.
I still do. Like I've reread some of the Ultimate Spider-Man and X-Men stuff.
Ultimate Spider-Man from the beginning to the end is still great. Like I read. I mean, it's like 10 years ago now. In my head, I'm like, oh, I just reread it. But way back when, I remember like right when I first got an iPad, I reread all of Ultimate Spider-Man, and it was like in real time, it was right around the time Miles Morales was like being introduced. So I got like all of the Peter Parker stuff right into the Miles Morales stuff. And just like the way they handled all of that up to like the death of Peter and then how that like led into Miles, I'm like, what a damn good story arc that was.
It was. It really, really was. And I love that. I keep forgetting how little Miles was when he became Spider-Man, because he's like not even in high school, right? Isn't he like...
He just started high school.
Yeah, he's like little.
He's a baby.
He is. And I loved that. And I loved that he would kind of have these like, well, I mean, what would Peter do? Like, I love that he was kind of like a compass the way Uncle Ben was to Peter, you know? Yeah, I mean, Rob, there was some great stuff for the Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, like, even when Ultimatum happened, where Jameson totally does a 180 about Spider-Man, like, he sees him saving people, and he, like, changes his whole editorial stance. And I love, was it when, like, the building's underwater and they can see Spider-Man, like, swimming by? Like, yeah, I mean, again, there was some good stuff that came out of it, but
I remember I was, like, so excited for Ultimatum, too, just because it was, like...
Poor thing.
Because it was like, I loved the Ultimate Comics, and it was just like, oh shit, Magneto's like the big bad guy, and I fucking love Magneto. And then I was just like, oh man, what a disappointment.
Now, you know, I knew we were in trouble at the end of Ultimates 3 when Pietro had been dead, I don't know how many fucking issues, but like Magneto's like, I'm gonna take it out on the world again, because the world fucked me over. Again. And like then you have the body of Pietro that's been laying there for how long, and then like a single tear rolls out of his eye. I'm like, and again, I was in like high school and I was like, bitch, are you kidding me with this? Like, I'm like in one single tear. It was at the ending of Van Helsing. Remember that when like she's in the sky and there's that one.
I don't remember. I blocked out a lot of Van Helsing. So let's be
I
honest.
almost rewatched Van
Probably for the
Helsing
best.
this year because
His
Of all
so
the
there's
movies.
a How Did This Get Made about it, and I was like, maybe I should
sweater
watch
was
it.
so upsetting.
Oh, okay. Well, How Did This Get Made is a good reason to watch any shitty movie.
It is. It is. I'm about to listen to their Cool World episode. I'm very excited.
God, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Oh, I googled image search ultimatum,
anyway.
and now I'm just like, what's happened?
That's something we should maybe cover for another episode because I can talk about that.
We should
all
do
day.
we should do like an
but I know-
Ultimate X-Men, or not Ultimate X-Men, just like an Ultimate Universe like best of. Because there's some
I support that.
heavy hitters in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a lot to say about that. But in the meantime, I think we're coming up on that time of the episode where we talk about what we've been reading.
Yeah.
You me first.
Yeah.
I've been watching it on. Well, I just finished the first season of. Sorry, I got really excited.
No, it's great.
I just finished the first season of The Promised Neverland, which is like an anime. It's about these kids who live in this orphanage. And it's very idyllic and like very like lovely and nice. But
Aw.
there's like something sinister going on in the background. Like
Uh-oh.
so like I don't know if I should have spoilers, but like yeah.
Whatever.
orphans.
Yeah,
I want to know.
Okay, so basically like they have a happy life. All these kids live together. Then like eventually one of them gets adopted. Then they like go off, and we find out instead of getting adopted, they get like murdered and eaten by these like alien creatures. And they're not. It's not an orphanage. It's actually a farm. And these kids are being like born and raised as livestock to be eaten by these like evil creatures. And it's like
That's
so like
amazing.
yeah. So the main characters find out the secret. And now they're trying to plan an escape. And it's all this intrigue
my
and survival horror. And I'm like, this is
Oh
so
my god.
fucking cool. So yeah,
What streaming service is it on?
it's on Netflix. So,
Oh my god.
What's it called
so,
again?
So if you like
Something
Attack on Titan,
Neverland?
that kind of stuff, the Promised Neverland.
That sounds
That
pretty
sounds
sweet.
amazing.
I was waiting for you to be like, oh, where's it streaming? It's on Pornhub. I know it's weird, but I mean, it's where it is. It's gotta get the premium account. Yeah, that's cool.
That's
It's really
fabulous. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. I'm
The
excited.
Promised Neverland.
Oh my god, it's so upsetting. I love it.
That's pretty genius, though. I love twists like that. You think it's one thing, and it's not. You know.
So
It's
for
like, yeah.
fans of Attack on Titan and other survival horror genres, you'll love
Yeah.
it.
It reminds me of that movie that was like, I don't know, early 2000s with Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor, and they're like,
Oh, The Island.
The Island, yeah, and they're like they're like a organ farm.
Yeah, for celebrities.
I didn't know
For
that.
celebrities,
Yeah.
yeah. They're clones of celebrities to have healthy organs to be
Well,
replaced.
that's weirdly kind of meta. That's kind of.
It was crazy. It's a good movie. I liked it.
Mm.
I liked it.
I want to check that out. Thank you, Chandler.
But yeah, so I am not reading anything of value as usual. But so I am dipping my toe in terms of, so I'm going to like my fandoms, like the fan fiction stuff. I am dipping my toe in the Han Solo Luke Skywalker stuff. And did you know that was like the first slash fic?
I mean, that makes
That's
sense.
cool.
And it was so threatening at the time because, like, you know, this came out in, like, you know, the 70s, 80s.
Late 70s, yeah.
And it was so threatening that people, like, actively did their best to shut
How did it get
down.
passed around? Was it just like
So there's,
zines,
like-
people like photocopying weird sex
I
stories.
mean,
and handing
I
them
have no idea. I don't.
Carrier pigeons.
Maybe carrier pigeon. I don't know.
Studio 54. Hey man, you got the goods? Oh man, this shit is strong. You're gonna love
Like
it.
fucking. I don't know. Like they had transcribers. I don't know.
That's
like,
always what's
Parchment
fascinating to me, though. If you think
I
about it, it's
don't
like, how
know.
did that shit get around? Because it did
It's
get around
crazy.
back then. So
No, but it didn't though. It didn't because every time it reared its head and people were trying to write things, like they were like attacked, like to not like how dare you? I mean, which makes sense because it was such a like homophobic culture that we're in, and yeah. So I'm dipping my toe in that, and it's better than
The Nightcrawler.
the
Wolverine?
Nightcrawler Wolverine stuff.
What was it called? Yarf or what was
Logert.
Logert. What do they call it?
Yarf.
Yarf.
Sounds gross. It's like Logan.
Yarp. Where did you pull that from?
My ass is where I pulled it from.
What is that a combo? Whose
I don't
names
know.
is that a combo of?
I don't know. I just know it sounded weird. Narf. I don't know.
Ugh. Well, no. So yeah, Loger, that was not very well written. And so it's better written, but I am still finding the same like just porn like tropey stuff, but that's probably because I will not read it unless it's like explicit. I'm a grown woman.
You
Doing
do
grown woman things.
I'm a grown woman. I'm not wearing that teening up shit. That general audience. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
I am
Well-
a grown woman. Something needs to happen.
And it kind of ties back to what I was saying about Mark Hamill being a gem of a human being, because I saw that there was that interview he gave where he was saying how like people who would come up to him and saying how like Star Wars came out and I was like I was gay and didn't know how to come out, and and like as like so Luke was like a big help for me.
Luke Skywalker is kind of like a massive twink, and it makes a lot of sense that people would think that.
But I like that Mark Hamill was like, hey, I mean, this was for you. So if you interpret him as gay, then he's gay. Like, I just love how cool Mark Hamill is about like like yeah, he's gay. You want him gay? He's gay. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was really cool that he said that.
Yeah, because Mark Hamill's dope.
Yeah. He'll always be my Joker. Always be my Joker. So, Rob, what have you been reading, watching?
I'm still just like crushing through all the Expanse TV shows / books.
Oh, yeah, it's right. The
I'm like
Expanse.
halfway through the 7th book, and there's 8 out currently, so I'm like almost caught up there. And I just started the 4th season, and I think the 5th season just ended of the TV show. And it's so good. It's so good. The TV show is like, it follows pretty closely to the books, but they change it just enough where like shit keeps happening, and I'm just like, oh, that's different. I'm excited. This is going places.
Cool.
And the TV show's like super well made. Highly.
That's what I've heard. The
It's like
production value is,
really
like,
well
incredible.
done. Really cool stories. Like interesting use of the science and stuff. It's so good. And I'm trying to crush this book.
Cool.
So then I'll read The Dark Tower next. That's next on my list of reading things.
Woo! I actually read the first book. Are we doing a Dark Tower episode? Is that what's happening?
I mean, I think that's where it's heading, because I think Chandler expressed some interest in reading the first Dark
I'll
Tower.
get that. Go
I'm
on.
probably like
That was convincing.
Totally forgot. Oh god.
I'm a couple weeks out probably
I'll do
before
that
I
at
have
some point.
finished this book.
Yeah,
but,
it's going to be a while.
but definitely it's on the
But at some
horizon.
point
I want to
I'm
read
out.
it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I like it. But I know, but it's all, yeah, anyway. Another episode, another time. Just trying to think about what I've been checking out. Well, as I mentioned, I've been watching a lot of RuPaul. And I think it's great. And I
I
learn a
think
lot.
RuPaul's Drag Race is kind of like really doing a huge service to straight men
Totally.
in America.
I'm learning so much. And Angela will tell you that I have cried on more than one occasion watching this show.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my god, Like,
well, and Paul's a Cancer, so he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he feels everything like to the core, and I love it because I am a soulless human being, and I love living vicariously through
well,
you.
no, because these kids are so beautiful and they're so talented, and then you hear the stories about their parents not supporting them, and like, you know, people trying to do them harm, and like they're like, you know, surviving suicide attempts. Like, it's just like, it's gut wrenching.
It's very pure.
And it's I'm learning so much, and I always was like, oh, I'm an ally, but it's like, man, no, I gotta do more. So it's teaching me a lot, and I feel like
We did have a hilarious moment though today because we were watching season 11. For some reason, was the only season we hadn't really watched.
Yeah.
So we got it and we're watching it, and it's like the grand finale, and this is a season where Evie Oddly wins. And it's the grand finale, and they're like in the Orpheum Theater, and like they're showing scenes of people in the audience, and Paul was thinking,
well, there was also too, leading up to that, was they did a little big about, what was it, the Stonewall?
Mm-hmm, the Stonewall riots.
Yeah, and like, I was happening in the 70s. I was like, oh man, like, I'm learning so much, and this is like powerful, and a good reminder for me about, like, you know, knowing that kind of history, and keeping an open mind and an open heart. And then you know, cuts to shots of the audience, and then there are like these two dudes,
and they're both like, one's wearing all black and the other one's wearing all white, but they have these like gimp masks on to match their suits, like these really sharp suits with these like patent leather gimp mats with like the little tiny rectangle hole for the mouth and like the eyes, and like, and Paul kind of had like a throwback to the that moment in Captain America Winter Soldier, when Scarlett Johansson is trying to like get him to go on the date with that girl, and he's like, oh, the one that has the tongue ring or whatever, and she's like, yeah, and he's like, I'm not ready for that, and that's Paul was just like, yeah, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, when I was like oh, like, God, that was legit my train of thought. Yeah, open heart, open mind. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not ready for that yet. That was a little scary.
Everybody say love. Oh no, I'm not there yet. Hold on.
I mean, I support.
It is a lot.
What they want to do. I'm just saying.
But once you get into like kink territory, there's like, I think it's just kind of like, okay, you know, you do you.
It's like, listen, you wear those masks. I want you to have the same human rights as everybody else.
Well, it's like,
I mean, if I ran into a dark alley, I'm gonna be a little concerned.
For me, it's like that with people who are into the horse fetish thing. And they have like the bars in their mouths, and they have like the fake hooves. You know what I'm talking about.
I know, but I don't.
And they have the hooves, and they got the manes and stuff, and they like, you know, trot around. I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I like that. I believe wholeheartedly that you have every right to do that, to dress like that, and be yourself. I am not the target.
No, it's a lot of work.
No.
Like, I'm glad they're willing to put in a lot of work.
Money.
It's just like,
I think too that I think, and maybe this is just like a commentary on our society and like where we're going, but I feel like we are coming to a point where I think that they're, you know, people tend to force their kinks on like other people in the guise of acceptance, and so that's something that we should think about. That, you know, everybody needs to be a consenting party. In order for, you know...
That's true. That's how it should go.
Everybody's got to consent. And if they're not consenting, then it's like, oh...
Yeah. It's a good message to take away from this episode.
Consent.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important. I'm just trying to think what else I've been watching. Apart from, or reading. I'm just reading the usual Spider-Man, X-Men stuff. Not comic book related, but we never talk about music. The new Foo Fighters album came out on Friday, and I am loving it. And it's funny reading the reviews, because there's two groups of reviews. There's ones that are like, Foo Fighters play it safe and like, you know, stay in their comfort zone and fails. And then there's like, Foo Fighters go outside their comfort zone and fail. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Can't win.
No, you can't. You really can't. And music is very like
music
personal.
Is
yeah, I just thought
it
was funny.
I always find it strange how there's like a world that like reviews music, because there's like music that means so much to me that I love that was like recorded in people's basements when they're like 14 years old and sounds like trash. But to me, I'm like, I love this.
Honest question though, how often do you guys read music reviews?
I have,
I never
but I
read
don't.
them.
I don't because I'm like my music review is like, oh, there's a new thing on there are new albums out. I'll listen to it on Spotify because it's like, it's not like it's so accessible now that I feel like why even bother reading a review? I guess maybe some people are better at like articulating the nuance of stuff, and
I'll read movie reviews for like validation.
Yeah.
Like it's like if I watch something, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, and then I'll like read a movie review, and I'll go, okay, all right, I'm not alone on this.
I guess that makes sense.
Right. But music reviews, I never read music reviews ever.
I don't even think they're well written, and I've read a few, and it's just like, but yeah, I just thought it was funny that two groups like, oh, they stayed in their comfort zone and fail. Oh, they stepped out of their comfort zone and failed. It's like all you fail, like you know, I
don't even read the blurbs on iTunes when they're just describing the artist. Like I wouldn't even read that. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's probably for the best, but
I just want to know.
I like it.
I don't know if I like it or not.
I like it. I think it's a good album, but also I love Dave Grohl. So Dave Grohl could be screaming into a trash can while beating it, and I would be like, you know what? I know you guys love making fun of that song. I don't give a shit because I fucking love the best
song.
of you, and that got me through some hard times. The best. I don't know how he does it. Because he's the best. Anyway,
I respect it.
Yeah,
I do. I'm not like I wouldn't call myself a Foo Fighters fan. Like if I'm making a playlist, I'm not going to be like, ooh, I got to put this Foo Fighters song on there. I've never done that. But
never will.
I am married to the whitest man on earth, and I respect his choices, and I respect what he loves because I love him.
Aww. And also, of all the whitest guys to be around, I mean, come on, I am actively participating in RuPaul marathons.
Yeah.
You know?
But let's not forget that you are like so white.